Democrats in Congress are pushing ahead with impeachment proceedings against President Trump.
And this after accusations President Trump asked the president of Ukraine to conduct an investigation into former Vice President, now presidential candidate Joe Biden and his son. This morning, the White House released a transcript of the phone call between the two leaders. President Trump confirms that they spoke about Biden, but says he did nothing wrong. Republican Southwest Virginia Congressman Morgan Griffith said he read the transcript today, and he said he believed the president was requesting a valid investigation into allegations Vice President Biden had threatened a previous Ukrainian administration with the loss of $1 billion in aid if they didn't fire a prosecutor who was investigating the company which the vice president's son was a board member of.
Virginia Democratic Senator Tim Kaine criticized the president's behavior. He said when a member of President Trump's own national security team takes the unprecedented step of filing an urgent and credible whistleblower complaint over the president's improper behavior, it should set off alarm bells for every American. End of that quote.
So now that the impeachment inquiry is essentially in motion, what does it mean and what comes next?
Blake Lipton joins us with answers.
Josh, Sarah, based on the evidence found, the Judiciary Committee will eventually decide whether to bring formal charges against the president, which will then be voted on by the full House.
This is really a political process as much as it is a legal one.
ETSU Associate Professor Dr. Daryl Carter says 6 different committees will investigate various parts of President Trump's administration as well as his past in business.
They will investigate basically whether or not the president committed high crimes and misdemeanors. And if so, do those rise to the level of impeachment?
If the representatives on those committees decide that's the case, Carter says they will draw up articles of impeachment. Those will be discussed and debated before being voted on by the full House.
There's enough out there, though, from the Mueller investigation, from the intelligence investigations, and from some of the journalistic efforts to suggest there's some things here that may be unseemly. The question is, if they are unseemly, are they something that violates his oath of office and deserves removal?
Lincoln Memorial constitutional law professor Stuart Harris says the process could take most of the year.
This is a moment where we should all take a deep breath. We should say, yes, this is serious, and yes, this is probably the greatest constitutional confrontation we've had since Watergate, but let's let it play out.
Harris also says the Democratic leader's declaration of an official inquiry statement was not technically necessary.
The Constitution gives the power of impeachment to the Congress, and it implicitly, therefore, gives the power of oversight and investigation to the Congress, and those are very clearly established.
If a majority of House members vote for the articles of impeachment resolution, the House will have effectively impeached Trump. Now, if the vote passes the House, the next step would be a trial run by the Senate. However, Daryl Carter says there's little chance impeachment will go anywhere in the Republican-controlled Senate. Sarah?